So what, who have been, and this is a question that I don't think you and I have ever talked about. Uh, who have been the biggest mentors that you've had in your life?
Well, my father was up to a very, very large degree, but he was a little bit more private man than I am. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just his age, but he set a great example for me, gave me every single thing that I needed. Uh, this is going to sound kind of weird, but when I went on the crew as a navigator, my radar navigator was a major named Don Wagner. Don was the most talented human being I've ever met. About 145 pounds. He was the best pool player in Louisiana. He was a professional boxer, could pitch baseball, scratch golfer. He, like a lot of people with so much talent, had some other issues. Okay,
Sure.
but he took me around for about a year and a half, and he taught me a lot. I went to pool halls. He taught how to, when you go in and you want a bunch of money off people, and he lost too. I mean, but when he wins, you don't rub it in.
Yeah.
Because if you rub it in, you're going to step outside, and there's going to be some guys there, and they're going to break a beer bottle, and they're going to cut your throat with it.
Yeah.
So there's ways to do things, but he was calm and cool under all circumstances. Just I learned so much from that guy. I also learned a lot from Mr. Fulton, my principal at Western Hills, who would literally go down the hall and he would forearm these 300-pound football players. Okay, so you better win tonight, or I'm coming after you. And they loved it.
Yeah.
They absolutely loved it. But
Yeah.
he got out and he talked to everybody. The teacher would stop him in the halls and say, "Mr. Fulton, I need to talk about something." He said, "Well, come in my office." And he'd take the time to do that.
Yeah.
He was a good listener. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a tough guy, but he was a good listener. And so he was also a good role model for me. Former chief of staff, General David Jones, who I never actually knew, the example that he set in so many ways. I mean, he flew with us one day. The staff car drives up, this 3-star gets out. He introduces himself to everybody on the crew, goes up, sits in the left seat, flies an 8-hour mission. We do everything from refuel to low level bombing. He doesn't miss a lick, okay?
Yeah.
He gets out of the airplane and does not shake hands with anybody. Doesn't say thank you, doesn't say anything. We all pack up, get out of the airplane, and he's standing down there waiting on us. He remembers our names, okay?
Yeah.
And says, "Thank you for the flight. You guys did a great job." Here I am, a first lieutenant navigator, telling a 3-star general when to turn and when to descend. I mean, that's the kind of thing that a real leader does. And so he made a big impact on me. Something General Doherty used to say I thought was very interesting, and this cuts across all professions. He would tell his aides, he would say, "Look, keep my weekends as clear as you can for my family," okay?
Yeah.
Because he had so many obligations, and you can't keep every weekend clear. But I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was really, really good advice. I would say that people ought to shoot for making not making an impact on people, but making an imprint. You make an imprint, don't make an impact. In other words, you really try to leave something. I think most leaders do that.
I think that is the perfect way to wrap this up. And let me tell you why I say that. You probably know to some extent, but probably not to the full extent, how much of an imprint you've had on hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people. I mean, when you talk about all the kids you've influenced as a high school RTC instructor, when you talk about all the people you've influenced in the Air Force, when you talk about all the people, I mean, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the fact that you were one of the 5 founding members of a group that has basically helped to resurrect the Corps of Cadets at A&M when it was down. And so the imprint you've had on people stretches far and wide, certainly on your family, certainly on me and Brett. That goes without saying. we didn't get a chance to talk about General, our adopted older brother, your adopted son, basically, and the imprint you've had on him and his family. And so I really, really, in all seriousness, all kidding aside, I really appreciate your time. And I know that there is going to be a ton of people that are going to hear this episode, and you're going to have yet another opportunity to put a positive imprint on thousands of more people. So thank you, Dad, so much for who you are. Thank you for all the lessons that you've given me and Brett and everybody else. And I had a great time. And it's kind of interviewing your dad for a podcast is can be a little different.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this. And I the other thing I'll say is I appreciate you being so well prepared. I mean, it's obvious you spent some time thinking about these things.
Janice said she'd be glad when this is over with because I've been so uptight about it. Well, you took a lot of my last thunder, and I'm gonna get the last word in, and then we'll hang up. But I just want to tell you that I'm very thankful for being on this. I'm honored that you asked me to do this. This doesn't happen all the time, okay? I'm sorry, but there's a lot of estrangements in families and things like that. I'm very, very honored to be on it, and I'm very proud of both you, and I'm very proud of Brett. And that's a note that I wanted to make sure that I jotted down because I think you guys were fantastic. Not perfect. Thank God you weren't perfect, and nobody is, and that's the way to be. But I really think that these podcasts, and I've listened to just about all of them, you've had a lot of great people on here that have had a lot of great ideas and a great, what I call food for thought, okay?
Yeah.
Food for thought. Everybody can pick out different things. So I think you're doing a big service. You talk about influencing a lot of people. I think that these podcasts are going to give a lot of people a lot of things to think about, and hopefully they can do a little better in what they're doing and learn something from it. And I guess the last thing I gotta say this once again, since we're talking about leadership. Leadership starts with caring about the job, the people that you work with, and your family. And if you can I think a good leader, if they can keep that simple, I think that they'll go a long ways towards being successful. And the last thing I want to say, and then I'll let you finish up, is that in the Bible, it's either 3:12 or 12:3 Ecclesiastics. Basically, God tells you to do two things: be happy and do good.
Yeah.
So be happy and do good, and everybody knows what that means. Okay.